Okay, let's see if it added it. Connect to YouTube. This is so silly. I don't know why this did this. Just a moment, please, y'all. Because I need to be. Okay. Let's see if it add. Oh, okay, awesome. So it did add YouTube finally. I don't know what happened there. Okay, good thing I noticed it. All right, cool. TikTok, let me know if you can still hear me. LinkedIn, let me know if you're there. YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. What's up, y'all? Okay, so again, the other reason to listen to me is for those who don't know me, you're new to this channel. You're probably thinking, who is this person? My name is Dr. Farah Laurent, and I've been a nurse for over 20 years. Master's prepared, DNP, in organizational leadership, and a master's in education. I started out in emergency medicine after my clinical instructor told me I would never get an emergency position and that I should stick to med surg. Didn't listen to her, followed my dream of pursuing emergency medicine. Not only did I get one offer, I got 2 offers in the ED as a nursing student before I even passed my boards. So not only am I helping new graduate nurses land their dream role, this is firsthand experience of what I did for my career 20 years ago. And of course, 13 years of emergency medicine and education and leadership experience. I've hired multiple new grads, educators, other nurses. So from both perspectives of being a nursing student and a new grad to being an educator, a clinical instructor, and also a director of nursing who hired a bunch of nurses, I think I know a thing or two about the job search process and interviewing. So as I mentioned, I have over 200 success stories. I have over 100 testimonials. So let's get into today's topic. And again, I think before I got cut off, I was trying to say, join my free webinar, which is happening tomorrow, newnursejob.com. Link is in all the bios, or simply just search newnursejob.com. And you can register for this free webinar tomorrow. Can't make it tomorrow? Cool, no problem. Still register because it'll give you an opportunity to select the next webinar so that you can put it on your calendar and save it and not miss it, okay? So if you're just joining me, we're gonna break down the top 5 reasons why your old school narratives, old school perspectives, fear-based thinking, scarcity type thinking, and self-limiting beliefs and a negative mindset, this is what's keeping you broke and this is what's keeping you jobless, okay? So let's talk about the top 5 perspectives. Let's break it down, each one, okay? And also there's research, right? You don't have to just listen to me as a nurse career coach, but there's actual proven research from multiple sources, right? Especially nursing, we love evidence-based, right? Research shows that nurses who take action and move fast and invest in themselves early on in the process and get a career coach are 3 times more likely to get hired and faster, right? Hired faster than their counterparts who are trying to do it alone. So again, think about that. It's proven. If you have a step-by-step process, someone who's guiding you along the way so you don't have to do it alone, helping you with interview prep, the job search process, of course it's going to be easier, okay? Because you're going in blind, you don't know what to expect. So having somebody like a nurse career coach like myself who is guiding you along the way, you are 3 times more likely to get hired faster, okay? And this is why this is so clear. My clients get jobs 3 months or less of working with me, right? 3 months or less when their counterparts are waiting 6, 9 months or up to 12 months, right? So you see that? They're waiting 3 times longer, some of them, okay? So the things that I hear the most is, number 1, what if I don't get hired, right? What if I join this coaching program, right? And I hire a nurse career coach like myself, and I don't get hired. That's the number one self-limiting belief. Okay? You have to believe that you're going to get hired. Okay? Being qualified is no longer enough in competitive markets, right? I don't think the markets are competitive. I think it's the same thing that it was 20 years ago. That's my opinion, but people keep saying competitive markets, so let's go along with that, right? So just passing your NCLEX or just being a nurse is not enough anymore. You have to be able to stand out. And many nurses just apply to apply with no actual strategy and no positioning. Okay, you have to position yourself for success. There's a couple different ways you can do that. One way is through networking. One way is to use LinkedIn to your advantage. And of course, your resume, interview skills, all of that matter. And confidence impacts the way you present yourself when you get to the interview process. But you need to get to the interview first. So you have to have a strategy to get through the application process so you can actually get to the interview. Okay? And one opportunity can completely change your career trajectory. So stop thinking negatively. Stop thinking you have to wait until you get what you actually want. So many nurses think that they have to pay their dues, which is old school thinking. They told me the same thing. They're like, yeah, you got to start in med surg first before you become an ER nurse. I'm like, hell no. I do not like med surg, and I want nothing to do with floor nursing. And that is not me. I did not want that. And I knew that I belonged in the ER and I didn't have to wait. Okay, you have to have a more progressive way of thinking and a positive way of thinking. So you will get hired. The reason you're not getting hired is because you don't believe that you can get hired. So when you keep saying, well, what if I don't get hired with this coaching program? Well, if you follow the exact guidance and steps and use the strategies that are taught in the program, it's a rinse and repeat. Like, it's a no-brainer. All the other clients are getting hired, so why wouldn't you get hired? Right? If I have a program, which I do, that has over 100 testimonials, and that's video and written testimonials. I wish I had more video, but people get so like bent out of shape, like doing an actual video of themselves. They get so afraid. They're like, oh, I don't want to put myself on camera. And then they're like, okay, I'll do a written one. But then sometimes they get the job, they get so busy, and then they don't do it. But I think that's pretty good, having like a 50% testimonial rate. So obviously the program works. You just have to apply yourself. You have to do the stuff, take action, and you have to actually believe that you can get hired. Okay? So that's the myth number one. You are going to get hired. You just got to do the right stuff. And you just got to listen to what I tell you to do. Like, why would you join a coaching program and hire me as your nurse career coach if you're not going to listen to what I tell you to do? Doesn't make any sense, right? So of course you will get hired, but your mindset, you have to reframe it to be like, yes, I will be hired into the ICU. Yes, I will be hired into labor and delivery or pediatrics or community, public health, psych, whatever it is you want. It starts with your mindset and believing. If you don't believe it, this is why you continue to get interviews, but you can't seem to land the interview because deep down you don't believe it, or there's some other issues in terms of fear, which we'll get into, or you're just flat out, you're not prepared. You're just winging it, and that doesn't work either. Okay, and that's why you need a nurse career coach. Like I said, research shows when new nurses hire a nurse career coach, they are 3 times more likely to land their dream role. And it's true for all my clients. Okay? I was going to break out into a song. I still will. All we do is win, 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 no matter what. You got to have a winning mentality. Okay? If you guys are with me, TikTok, put winning in the chat. If you guys are watching the replay, put winning in the chat. If you guys are with me, let me know. And again, for those who are just joining me, if you're a senior nursing student or a new graduate nurse and you're struggling with the job search process, struggling with getting interviews, or you're getting interviews but you're not getting an offer, come join me tomorrow in the next free webinar training that I have. We'll dive deeper into all these topics and I'll give you more tips and strategies on how to get hired faster as a new graduate nurse and how to get exactly what you want in terms of your preferred specialty, despite what city you live in. Okay, and there's no excuse because my clients are, I would say 80% are from the San Francisco Bay Area and also definitely from New York City. Okay, the next old school narrative that's keeping you jobless and keeping you broke and not hired as a new nurse is thinking that things are too expensive. Okay, this one, I'm telling you, I understand. I was a nursing student, I know, right? But I always say, where there's a will, there's a way. If you truly believe that something works and you know it works and you find value in it, you will do whatever it takes to get that. Okay. So for example, Beyonce tickets, Chris Brown tickets, whatever, concerts, that outfit you want, the bag, the shoes. If you really want that, you're going to find a way to get it. Same thing with getting hired. If you really want to get hired, you're going to see the value of hiring a career coach, someone like me, to get you from point A to point B with less stress, waste less time, and actually get the results you want, right? Faster with less frustration. But guess what? It's an investment. When people keep saying it's too expensive, that is a perspective and a mindset reframe that needs to happen. What's too expensive? The cost or the price, right? So what is the cost of not taking action, inaction, right? The cost of inaction is you staying in the same spot, being stuck, not getting hired. Literally, when we get on calls, I get on consultation calls with people that are eligible to join my program, because not everybody is eligible. It's only a specific group of new grads that meet criteria that get into my program, because we don't take anybody. It's very, like, you got to want to be in it. And then you have to meet certain criteria to get in it, right? So not only do you have to invest, yes, money, right? It's an investment, but you're going to get that ROI back literally in a month or less. And you're going to get hired faster. Okay? So the cost of inaction is actually costing you more money, because let's just take an easy number, for example, $100K a year. Most nurses nationally are making anywhere from 80 to 100K. If you're in New York City or in Cali, you're making 130 to 190 or potentially 200K. But let's take 100K for easy math. If you don't have a job for 6 months, that's $50,000 that you're leaving on the table. If you don't have a job for 9 months, that's $75,000 that you're leaving on the table. And I've met many nurses that literally, it's May, right? So a year has gone by with no job. So that's literally 100K that you're leaving on the table. And it's even worse if you're in New York City or if you're in California and San Francisco. It could literally be close to 200K that you're leaving on the table. So if you compare that to what the investment of the program, it's like a no-brainer. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean it's too expensive? No, it's not. It's an investment that you are literally going to get back in weeks. Okay? So staying stuck has a cost. Also, right? We talked about delayed income and missed opportunities adds up. Because let's say you had the opportunity to join my group coaching cohort, but you're like, you know what? I don't know. I got to think about it. It's too expensive. Like, I'll get back to you. Cool. Take all the time you want. But now that nurse residency program just opened up for the ICU. And there's a limited time that you have to submit your application. And let's say you submit it, but your resume and cover letter is not good enough and you don't get selected to move forward. Now you just missed your opportunity to be in that nurse residency program for the ICU. And there aren't many ICU specific residencies. You see where I'm going with this? Missed opportunities, right? Or let's say, great, you get to the interview stage and it's a panel interview. It's not just you, there's like 5 other people interviewing and you're not prepared. And then you blow the interview. You don't do well and then you don't get selected for the position. So now you're like, damn, I really wanted that ICU position and I just blew it, right? Again, that's more expensive, right? That cost of not taking action. And now you just blew your dream job of you trying to get into the ICU or the ER or labor and delivery, NICU, psych, whatever it is. Same goes for some of you who are nurse practitioners, right? I just coached a new nurse practitioner, shout out to Joy, graduating from a nurse practitioner program, psych NP. She wanted to get a telehealth job, a remote position where she could stay home in Houston and have that luxury. She's like, I'm not messing around. I don't want to wait months and months and not get what I want. She hired me as her nurse career coach. We literally worked together in less than 5 weeks. And like 2 or 3 days after graduation, she got hired in her dream role, telehealth, remote, at home. So it goes for anybody. Maybe you're watching and you're like, you know what? I'm not a new grad. Like, I don't even know. I say new grad, like to me, that could be from 1 to 3 years or 1 to 5 years, whatever. But, traditional terms, whatever. But you could be in a position that you absolutely hate. Like, you're miserable because you settled for different reasons. Could be financial reasons, like maybe you just had to take the job. Totally understandable. But it's maybe long-term care or a nursing home, or your family member was like, just take it. You'll get something else. And maybe it's been a while now you can't get into the hospital system and you really want to work in acute care or critical care. Well, guess what? It's not too late. You can still join this free webinar I have tomorrow. Just go to newnursejob.com and sign up. Or the link is in the bio if you're watching on TikTok. Same thing on Instagram, LinkedIn, and I believe Facebook should have it too. Okay. So literally I have a webinar every single Thursday, mostly every Thursday. So if you don't want to miss out, sign up now, because once it fills up, that's it. You got to wait till the next one. And if you are interested in my career coaching program for new grads, direct message me on LinkedIn. That's the best way to find out a little bit more, but I will talk about it in the webinar as well. If you can't join the webinar tomorrow, that's fine. Still go ahead and sign up, put your name, put your email and your phone number. So when the next webinar comes, you'll get notified. And I believe there's a calendar that shows up and you can actually select which webinar you want. And then once you select it, you have the ability to save it on your calendar so that you don't miss it. And then you also will get an email and a text message to remind you about an hour before so you don't miss out on the webinar. Okay? So if you're just joining me, we're talking about the 5 reasons, the 5 old school thinking type narratives that are keeping you stuck, keeping you broke and jobless as a new nurse. Okay? And we're talking about the 5 top, reasons why people don't want to invest in a nurse career coach like myself, because I hear it all the time. Okay. We talked about one. What if I don't get hired? Like, what if I'm a special snowflake and all these strategies that have worked for over 200 people just don't work for me? Honey, no, it's going to work. You just have to actually take action and do the things. It's a rinse and repeat framework. Over 100 testimonials. It works. You just got to do the job. You just got to do the work. Okay? Which is being proactive in the job search, preparing for interviews, all that stuff. We break all that down in the coaching program. And I talk a little bit about it in the webinar as well. So you will get hired. You just have to have the right thinking, positive mindset. Stop hanging out with the wrong negative people. And only hang out with people who are speaking positivity into your life. Okay? Number 2 is it's too expensive, but we broke this down. If most jobs, let's say, are 100K, and you're not working for 6 months, that's 50K that you're leaving on the table. If you're not working for 9 months, that's 75K. If you're not working for a year, obviously, you're leaving 100K on the table. Okay, I literally just coached one of my most recent clients. She was a nursing student in Long Island. I've known her through different speaking engagements that I do. I spoke at the New York State Nursing Association a couple times, and that's how we met. Anyways, she decided to work with me. She was hesitant at first, but decided to work with me. She wanted to get a job in the SICU, in the surgical ICU at NYU. We worked together, and literally less than 3 weeks, she got hired in the SICU. Okay. She's awaiting for, I think, her official thing, but it's coming. And I can't wait to share her testimonial with y'all. But she literally will start working right after graduation. So she's going to start making that money back. Okay. So literally what she invested was like nothing. She'll get it back literally in like probably, like I said, a couple weeks of her working. Okay. And then the other part of it's too expensive, you're spending so many hours. Like I just talked to somebody today, and it happens often. She says she put in over 200 applications as a new nurse in only about 5 months. That's exhausting. Okay? We don't want to do exhausting. You already went to nursing school, which your brain needs a rest. So why would you want to do that to yourself? Why would you want to apply to over 200 jobs? It's exhausting. It's like a full-time job just applying. When you can shorten the process by hiring someone like me and getting into this program, if you do meet eligibility, to make it quicker from A to B and get exactly what you want without having to send over 200 applications. And then it really wears you down because you're now thinking, oh my goodness, is something wrong with me? Am I enough? Am I going to get this job? Should I get another job that's not a nursing job? Should I go into retail or bartending or get a fast food job just to get something until I get my RN position, right? You start second guessing yourself. You start feeling so defeated and like, oh my goodness, I keep getting all these rejections, but it's not your fault. Nursing school does not teach you how to get hired faster. It only teaches you how to pass your NCLEX and how to be a nurse and all the foundational things. They don't have time for all of this extra stuff. This is where I came in. I saw the gap and I'm like, I didn't have this when I was a nurse 20 years ago. I wish I had me 20 years ago. I wish I had, I have a YouTube channel that I just put out earlier this year. It's called The Nursing Dose with Farah. If you look under videos, you'll see a ton of videos. I wish I had content like that 20 years ago to help me get into the ER. I had to figure it out alone. And I still got there because I just had a lot of tenacity. I was like, nobody can tell me anything. I'm going to the ER, right? So this is why I promised myself that I would later become an educator and give this all to you guys for free, right? I mean, I'm investing with my time, right? But I'm putting all this content out there so you don't have to do it yourself. And you can come to my free webinar tomorrow. Just link is in the bio. Go to newnursejob.com. Okay? I don't want you guys to struggle and put in over 200 applications. You're going to like get frustrated and burn out. Okay. And of course, mentorship, and I said guidance, it's an investment, right, in your growth. And it accelerates the results. It's proven, research proven. Okay. And then if you're just joining me again, we're talking about the 5 broke type of thinking, limiting beliefs, old school narratives that are keeping you jobless as a new nurse, keeping you broke, and really preventing you from getting exactly what you want as a new nurse, which is literally getting into the ICU, the ER, psych, pediatrics, LND, NICU, whatever you want. You can get there. But often it's fear that's holding you back. Often it's overthinking. Often it's other negative people surrounding you, talking all this mess in your ear, and then you start believing and doubting yourself. And like, oh, maybe I should just settle for anything. No, don't believe that negativity. That's the old school thinking. Okay? So we talked about those top two things. Number 3 is I already tried everything and nothing is working. You haven't tried everything. Okay? Just applying and applying and applying to more jobs is not a strategy. And if you keep doing the same thing and you're not getting results, it's a vicious cycle. Just applying more and not having an actual specific strategy, it's not going to work. You're just continually staying stuck in the same wheel. Okay? And you're often repeating the same ineffective strategy because you're not prepared for the interviews. If this is resonating, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions about the job search process, interviews. Let me know. And let me know if you signed up for the webinar. Again, to sign up, go to newnursejob.com. And then the other thing, right, is most new nurses, they don't really understand what personal branding is, what visibility means, what preparing early means, how to leverage LinkedIn, how to leverage your network or even networking. You're not really sure how to do it strategically. So this is what we're going to go through in the webinar. And also this is what we discuss in my coaching programs. Okay. So you haven't tried everything, because if you haven't been in a coaching program and a nurse career coaching program like mine, you haven't tried everything. Just doing things on your own and doing the same thing over and over is going to yield the same results. You're not going to get hired. Okay. You need a different perspective. You need somebody who's been there, someone who knows the nursing game, someone who has helped over 200 nurses get in their preferred specialty, someone who's not going to allow you to settle, and someone who's going to hold you accountable. And that's me. Okay. Because you need to be prepared also in terms of like clinical style questions, behavioral style questions, and you need to have an interview pitch. If you think you're going to get ready for your interview, like let's say they're like, hey, let's have an interview next week. Having a couple days, just 2 or 3 days, and you going on ChatGPT or Google just to read up some Q&A, it's not gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it. Okay. And then you're just gonna make yourself more nervous and anxious. Okay. And then the other type of thinking is, well, I can just figure this out on my own. Like, can I just do this on my own? Absolutely. You can. And some people might be successful. Like I was successful 20 years ago getting into the ER. Literally, I started working 2 days after graduation. But why would you want to do it alone when you can have a proven framework, a rinse and repeat that's literally a proven system that has helped over 200 nurses get what they want in less than 90 days. Some of them literally in a week. Why would you want to figure it out alone? Makes no sense. Okay. And you prepping with a friend who's not a nurse, or a friend or family member or a spouse that knows nothing about healthcare, nothing about nursing, that's not preparing, because they don't know. Okay. Maybe they're an HR professional and they could maybe help you a little bit with the interview process, but they're not going to know how to help you with clinical style questions that you get asked about. If you have 5 patients, which one would you see first, and giving a rationale. They're not going to help you with that because they're not a nurse. So this is exactly why you can't just do it alone. Okay. Mentorship shortens the learning curve, and less stress, less anxiety, and you show up so confidently to the interviews. My clients, they're like, oh my God, I slayed that interview. And often they're getting same day offers or next day offers. Okay. And we're going to wrap it up here in just a little bit. Obviously, proximity to people with experience like myself who's done it. I've been involved in multiple hiring interviews. Like, I can't even tell you how many interviews I've been in, and hired. I myself ran a nurse residency program, along with a colleague in education. I was a clinical instructor, a professor, a director of education. Like, I know some things about interviews and hiring. Okay. And like I said, over 200 nurses. Okay. And the biggest thing is confidence, right? A lot of times it's not really what's on your resume. Yes, the resume and cover letter will help you get to the interview stage, right? But when you get to that interview, you have to be confident. If you're not confident and you have 2 people with similar resumes and similar experiences, the person who interviews the best and with confidence and who can clearly articulate their value and communicate effectively is the one that will get hired. And how does that happen? Through preparation and through guidance, like a career coach. So come to my free webinar tomorrow, newnursejob.com. The link is in the bio. Okay. The last thing. This is one of my favorite things. So many nurses come to me and they're like, I would love to get into your coaching program. Tell me what the criteria is. I'm ready. Like, I'm committed. I want to do this. I'm dedicated. I want to invest my time. I want to invest the money. Like, I'm ready to go. And then let's say they get through the application process. We have a quick meeting and they meet criteria and they get accepted into the program. Some of them will say, oh, I need more time to think about it. Or maybe it's just not the right time. And I'm like, cool, awesome. Take all the time you need. That is a fear-based decision, right? You're ready. You want to do it. You're like, yeah, this is the right program. I see all the results. I see all the transformations, the confidence. These new nurses are getting hired. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, I see the proof. And then you're like, ooh, I don't know. I need more time to think. Think about what? You don't need time to think about anything. What that's stemming from is fear. You're afraid of moving forward. You're afraid of maybe going to the interview and not getting the job. This is all fear-based thinking. And that's often why most new nurses stay stuck and think, I'm going to think about it. I might just try it myself for a bit. And then the same nurses will come back to me 6 months later or 9 months later. And they'll be like, oh man, I wish I would have worked with you sooner, because now I just wasted 9 months. And we talked about this, right? Anywhere from 50 to 75K or 100K that you're leaving on the table because you didn't want to invest up front because of fear and uncertainty. But that's the mindset. You got to reframe that. And you got to move from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset, into a positive growth mindset. Like, yes, I will get the job. I will get the ICU position. I will get the ER position. You attract, right? When you're strategic, you know what is meant for you, your mind is right, you're prepared, you're confident, you're going to go into that interview and it's going to be a conversation. When I tell my clients, like, when you get to the interview process, it's a wrap. Like, you got the job. That's how prepared I get them for these interviews and how confident they are that they already know they're going to get either a same day offer or a next day or a same week offer for sure. Like, no doubt. But if you let fear take over, that's when you'll stay stuck. You're like, yeah, I need time to think about it. And then it's like a vicious cycle. And then fear often disguises itself as hesitation, right? You're like, I need time to pray about it. Cool. Totally understand. I'm someone who prays, someone who is of faith, and I believe, but guess what? It's faith over fear, right? So like, it's okay to pray about it and all that stuff, but you got to take action. Inaction is you marinating in that fear. But you got to have faith and move forward. Because guess what? You're doing the same thing and it's not getting you anywhere. You're not getting the job. You're not getting interviews. It's been 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. And if you go to a year, you may not get into that nurse residency program because once you hit a year, you're not eligible to get into the nurse residency program anymore, right? So that's another thing that you got to think about is time. Okay. And often people are just delaying. And then they're just uncomfortable with growth. In order to be successful, you got to be comfortable with getting uncomfortable and stepping out of your comfort zone. And that means investing in yourself, hiring someone, getting professional help like a nurse career coach like myself, and coming to this webinar tomorrow. Okay. Sign up in the link in the bio, newnursejob.com. And if you can't make it tomorrow, still sign up because there'll be another webinar after that you can sign up for. Okay? And your future will change when you decide that you're going to take action and make a move. Okay? I always talk about nurses making money moves, nurses making business moves. And now I'm going to say nurses making career moves. You need to move. The more stagnant you stay, you're going to be stuck. Okay? You need to take action and you need to move on that faith and you have to believe in yourself. And sometimes you got to surrender and be like, you know what? I need some professional help and I'm going to invest my time and invest the money because I know that I'll get that back. And that's abundance thinking. When you stay stuck in fear, you stay stuck in scarcity and in lack. When you keep thinking, there's not enough jobs, it's too competitive, I'm not going to get into the ICU, I have to wait 2 years before I get into the ICU, you're creating your reality. But if you reject that and like, you know what, I'm going to go over here with the abundance thinking, the growth mindset, the positive thinking, I will get into the ICU. I will get into labor and delivery. I will get into pediatrics, NICU, SICU, MICU, all the U's, whatever, school nursing, community nurse, public health nurse, then it's going to happen. But you have to believe and you have to take the steps forward to invest your time, invest the money, and go for it. Okay? Because whatever you're doing right now, it's not working. That's why you're stuck and that's why you're jobless. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. I know it was a little bit of tough love. But like I said, come to my free webinar tomorrow, newnursejob.com. Sign up. Link is in the bio. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not subscribed yet. The Nursing Dose with Farah. Ton of videos are there. And if you're like, I can't wait, I have an upcoming interview and I want to like slay this interview because this is my dream role, then direct message me on LinkedIn. That's the best way to get me really quickly. And then we'll see what we can do and how I can support you. And if that means getting into my career coaching program, if you meet criteria and eligibility, we can, have a chat about that. But it's not free. Remember this, it's a premium program that gets premium results. And the nurses were ready to take action, ready to commit, and ready to make that move to the next step. They're the ones that are successful. Remember, I talked about that research? The nurses who move quickly, who invest in themselves, invest in career coaching, it's a proven fact. Research-based will get hired faster. In fact, 3 times faster than their counterparts. Okay. And like I said, my clients are getting hired in less than 90 days, often a couple days after graduation or literally within a couple weeks. So if you want to get what you want, it's possible. You just have to change the way you think, the way you move, and invest in yourself because you're worth it and you deserve it. Okay. So my name is Dr. Farah Laurent. I will see you in the next webinar. Go to newnursejob.com, sign up right now. Thank you for watching. If you happen to be watching the replay, same thing. Go ahead and sign up for the next one and go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. And if you have any comments or questions, drop them in the chat and I will go back and watch, look at the comments for the people that watch the replay. And I'll try my best to answer all your questions. But the best way to reach me is literally go to LinkedIn. Make sure that you're connected with me on LinkedIn, Dr. Farah Laurent. Send me a message and we can chat there on LinkedIn. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Jewel, Anita, Charlotte, Sarah. So many people on here. I hope to see you tomorrow in the free webinar. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a great evening.